Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Stewart. I sure miss you all. I wanted to give you all a little tutorial today on how to make homemade Play-Doh. This is one of the things that I use almost every single week in my therapy room and in the classroom with the kiddos. And they seem to talk more and engage more. And even if they eat a little bit of it, it's okay because it's just flour and salt and a little bit of water. So it's really easy. I'll just give you guys a rundown kind of the ingredients that you'll need, and then we can start making our Play-Doh. So we're going to need 3/4 cup salt, cream of tartar, which is just this white powdery spice. It's actually in the spice aisle, and 2 cups of flour, and some oil. Now, if you want to, you can always add an essential oil to the Play-Doh after it's done cooking. This is something that I like to do. It just gives a whole nother sensory component to the Play-Doh. This one that I have right now is peppermint. So this is supposed to, wake up your senses and help stimulate the kiddo and hopefully get them to talk a little bit more. Some things that I like to do with the Play-Doh, there's a lot of language that you can work on. Of course, you're going to be, talking, parallel talk, self-talk the entire time that you're doing the Play-Doh with the kiddos. This is one of their favorites. So this is I don't know what you call it. I call it a spaghetti maker. And what they do is they put the Play-Doh inside, they push down, and then, out comes the spaghetti or whatever they decide to make on that end. You can also work on a lot of verbs. With this one, it's push the Play-Doh. I have a little Play-Doh scissors, cut. You can even just use a child scissors. Roll, and if you don't have a roller, you can use just a big rolling pin, or you can even use, like an Old Spice container and just have them roll it. And then on the top of the spice container, there's a perfect cookie cutter circle shape that you can use to cut the Play-Doh into circles. I also have a knife, just a little plastic knife that they can use to cut. The kids and I like to make a lot of snakes rolling out the Play-Doh, and then we use the knife to cut, 1, 2, 3, 4, counting using those pieces of the snake as math is a really good idea. And then I have just a few cookie cutters from a Play-Doh set. You can use any cookie cutters that you have in your kitchen. And another thing that I like to do with the Play-Doh is use these awesome Fisher-Price animals, and any kind of animal will work, but you can have the horse jump into the Play-Doh. You can put footprints in the Play-Doh with the different animals. And then my kindergartner likes to make little faces and monsters out of her Play-Doh. Just pipe cleaners and some eyes that I had from Valentine's Day. Yeah, so be creative. You can find anything in your house that you don't mind getting in Play-Doh. A lot of poking and pushing and cutting. It keeps the kids entertained. Man, for 30 minutes at least for our sessions. If you're sitting there with them and talking about what you're doing, they just love it. So let's get started. I just have a pan right here on the stove. We're going to start by adding 2 cups of warm water. And turn that on just to medium heat. And add 2 cups of flour. And you're just gonna give it a stir. Hope everybody's doing well at home. We're all at home a lot these days, so it's a little bit easier for me to be in the kitchen and try new things and definitely try to keep the kids entertained. So you're just gonna stir this up. It's gonna be a little goopy. And then you can add in your cream of tartar right away as well. Sprinkle that in. And then you can add in your 3/4 cup salt as well. It's kind of funny when the kids try to eat the Play-Doh and they realize that there's 3/4 cup salt in here. They make a funny face after they realize it doesn't taste so good. Okay, and it's already getting pretty warm, so I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of oil as well. Okay. Another fun essential oil that I've done is lavender. It's more of a calming effect on the kids, supposed to be anyway. And it's just a pretty smell. So after you get this all stirred up, it's gonna start turning into more of a Play-Doh texture. And by the way, some kids actually with sensory needs, they tend to like the homemade Play-Doh even better than the store-bought Play-Doh. I'm not sure what it is, but they're more willing to put their hands in this Play-Doh and push it down with their hand, and they're just more willing to touch this Play-Doh and play with it. So it must be the texture is a little bit more satisfying to them. And if the child does not want to touch the Play-Doh right away, that's totally fine too. There's some kids that just need a few tries with the Play-Doh before they actually start touching it. So what you can do is you can just take, the roller or whatever, and they can use the roller in their hand without even touching the Play-Doh. I even have just like little poker sticks that you can make dots with. And as you're doing it, you want to show them that you can do it, and then you can say dot, 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 dot. That is a really basic imitation, beginning imitation of sounds. You can even have them imitate, ba, 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 pa, 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 pa. Anything that you can try that they might imitate. I've had a lot of success with the Play-Doh and beginning sound imitation, so definitely worth a shot. Plus it's fun for everybody to play with, even the parents. Or if you have older siblings, they can be here at the table playing Play-Doh with you guys. My 9-year-old still loves playing with Play-Doh, so it's fun for all ages. Now as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit thicker. Starting to look more like more goopy. You just want to make sure that you keep stirring it. And once it gets to that point where it's really hard to stir, you can take it off the heat. You don't want it to get too burnt, too hot. Also, if you want to add color to it, I've done some pretty colors, blue, red, purple. Just add a couple drops at the end into a plastic bag, like a gallon plastic baggie. So then your hands don't get all colored and dyed. It won't hurt you, of course, if you do, but it's not fun to walk around with your hands all pink or blue. Okay, mine is getting really close. Maybe just one more minute. Scrape the spoon off. And actually, homemade Play-Doh tends to last a little bit longer than the store-bought Play-Doh. It's a little bit more forgiving to being left out for, 30 minutes, an hour. when the kiddos forget to put it back in their plastic bags. My kids are outside right now enjoying the sunshine. At least if we have to be home, there's sun outside. Okay, so I'm gonna take that off the heat for now. And after this cools, then you can put it into a big plastic gallon bag. Or you can divide it and put it into 2 small bags like this. And then you just take your food coloring and put some drops in it. And then you close it up and you just mush it all around. You knead it on the countertop and then you'll have your colors. And you can also put the peppermint or lavender or whatever essential oils if you want to smell in there at that time too. So, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed the Play-Doh. Hopefully you and your kiddos will enjoy playing with it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll send you an email as a follow-up for what you can do with Play-Doh and give you some new ideas. Pinterest has a lot of good ideas of things and activities you can do with Play-Doh. They have Play-Doh mats that you can print out and have laminated. And they have, you know, letters that you can shape the Play-Doh into different letters and follow the pattern on the paper. So they're pretty cool. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.